Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Top 5 Wednesday. The topic for this week is books that you wish had sequels, and this was pretty tricky for me because I realised that most of the books I've read and loved are in series, so in a lot of cases they do have sequels and in some cases they have many sequels. So I had a pretty tough time picking 5 books, but I have managed to do it, and I've picked these books because I just wanted a little bit more from them, or I do see some kind of natural progression, if you know what I mean. So the first one is a middle grade contemporary that I read last year, and that is George by Alex Gino. I think that might be the best lighting I'm going to get on that. This is about a little boy who is struggling with his gender identity. Inside he feels very much a female, and it's just about his struggles to come to terms with that and his fears about how his classmates may feel about that if they ever found out. It centres around a school play of Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. He wants to audition for the part of Charlotte, but he feels he can't because obviously Charlotte is a female part. And he has a best friend who is absolutely awesome, and she kind of helps him kind of discover who he really is and be able to be comfortable with that identity. And I would absolutely love to see George as an adult. So I would absolutely love a sequel of her being in her teens and just growing up as a transgender young adult. I would absolutely adore a story like that. So yeah. The next one is End of Days by Susan E, and I think this may be a popular one in this Top 5 Wednesday topic because this Angel series was originally meant to be 6 books long, and for some reason they cut it down to a trilogy. So therefore this final instalment left a little bit lacking, and I think that's because if you loved the series right from the first book, Angel Fall, you know, there's a whole kind of scope for a whole new character development that just never happened by the time we got to this sequel, because it was just, we wanted more. It was supposed to be another 3 books. This was only supposed to be the halfway point, and obviously, although Susan E did manage to wrap it up because obviously it was going to be the last book, there was so much more they could have done for it, and it was, you know, it was really, really disappointing. So, yeah. The next one is my favourite standalone, so of course I would want more from it, and that is Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. I would just absolutely, although this does have a ending that's very wrapped up, all ends tied, everything like that, I would love to see Eleanor Park as adults. And I'm not going to spoil this book for anyone that hasn't read it because everybody really should, but I think those of you who have read this book, you will know what I mean, and probably you will know what I want in a sequel of Eleanor Park. So yeah, I can't really say too more because I think if I talk about endings of books too much, then obviously it's going to spoil a whole load of things for a lot of people. So yeah. The next one is Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. This is the third in a companion series, the Anna and the French Kiss series. This is the third one, and in this all 3 couples are happily together and everything is lovely and rosy. And I don't know if this is just like me being cynical, but I would love a version of the Anna and the French Kiss series where they're all like middle-aged and you know, at least one of the couples have broken up and they have kids and it's not a good situation or something like that. I would love an adult version of the Anna and the French Kiss series. So Stephanie Perkins, if you're watching, maybe give that some consideration. So yeah. And the last one is one of my favourite middle grade books, and it's in a similar vein to George actually as to the reason why I wanted to have a sequel, and that is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I think this is quite a popular book now. It has been doing its rounds on BookTube and it's been out for quite a long time as well. It's about a boy called August who has a facial deformity, and it's all about him coming to terms with that and finding his strength and his courage to stick up for himself around bullies. And again, I would just love an adult version of this. I would love to see him go to secondary school and become a young adult and maybe, you know, find love and things like that despite his physical deformities. I would love a lovely, uplifting, inspirational story like that. So yeah. And that is all I have for you for this week's Top 5 Wednesday. What are some of the books that you wish had sequels? What books do you just want a little bit more from? I will just mention that my last video, the World Book Exchange, I did put a disclaimer in the description of that video because I kind of had a little bit of anxiety and insecurities surrounding it right after I'd posted it. Even though I joined the exchange like 3 days before, I did start to have kind of like insecurities because I thought maybe people would have a lot of questions and they'd be a little bit cynical about it and things like that. So I did put a disclaimer in the description of that video just to basically cover myself and to still say that the exchange is an awesome idea and I think you guys should definitely get involved, but maybe just be a little bit safe and sensible about it. So yeah, if you want to know exactly what that's about, then you can watch my last video and read the disclaimer. As normal, I will leave all my social media in the description down below. I hope you're having an awesome day and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.